don't fuck up the world, excuse me, but is that your girl? If you tell, that's a good referral. He talk crazy to me, but Kendrick know I like a regular girl.
You know, one of the things I love about shonen anime is how ignorant that should be getting for no reason whatsoever. Like, yeah, all the shonen inspirational moments be cool for real, you know, follow your dreams, never give up, yada yada yada. But sometimes, after I just went through a long day of having to abide by the rules of society, I just want to see one strong nigga rock another strong nigga in his jawbone with zero regard for human life. This is where anime ignorance comes in. In healthy moderation, anime ignorance can add a sort of unpredictability to a show. Like, sure, everyone loves a little buttercup character who's always down to help people and save kittens and shit, but at the end of the day, even the sweetest characters in the game gotta know how to get a little ignorant from time to time, lest they want to get smoked in their own verse. All in all, I feel like anime ignorance simply makes a show better. But like I said earlier, it has to be in moderation. You throw too much ignorance into one anime, and you end up with a show like Baki. Now don't get me wrong, Baki goes hard, but there ain't no damn story in Baki, bro. It's just ignorant niggas boxing ignorant niggas that box ignorant niggas. It's too much. One might even say it's ignorance overload. The reason I bring this up though is because this most recent episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, it got me worried, bro. It got me worried, and here's why. Gojo, Geto, and Toji, that is a crazy combination, bro. That is an ignorance trifecta. Like, I want to talk about the combined felonious efforts that these three put in during the second episode of JJK Season 2. But before we get into all that, I want to talk to y'all about the sponsor of today's video, 𝙏𝙖𝙡 Star Rail. 𝙏𝙖𝙡 Star Rail is a free-to-play space fantasy RPG made by Hoyoverse, the same people that bought you Genshin Impact. It's free-to-play and it's cross-platform on both PC and mobile, and to all my console homies, there's no need to worry. The game is dropping on PlayStation sometime in late 2023, so like in the meantime you can just play on mobile or PC and transfer your data over later. Even though the game dropped less than 3 months ago, it's already a massive hit with a huge player base and over 80 million downloads worldwide. In 𝙏𝙖𝙡 Star Rail, you get to pick from over 20 unique playable characters as you explore different worlds across the universe and engage in reimagined tactical combat. This game features endless team building possibilities as well as diverse enemies, environments, and upgrades so that you can really lock in and come up with your own unique battle strategy as you explore the stars. Oh, and by the way, bro, the art style in this game is actually amazing, bro. Like the characters, the battle animations, the cutscenes, all that looks like it came straight out of one of those $1 trillion budget anime, bro. Like, it is really fire, bro. Star Rail also features these awesome interactive experiences in a semi-open world, which allows you to discover treasure chests, solve puzzles, and uncover the lore of the world as you progress through the story. If you haven't hopped on the Star Rail wave yet, now is definitely the time to join, because a massive update is coming in version 1.2 where players are going to be able to witness the epic climax of the story on the Shinjo Lofu. As part of the update, players will be able to explore 2 new maps, participate in limited time events, and earn 10 free warps just by logging into Star Rail for 7 days. New story content isn't the only thing coming to Star Rail though. 𝙏𝙖𝙡 is also adding 2 new limited 5-star characters into the mix. The Stellaron Hunter Blade and the long anticipated antagonist Kafka are making their debuts, giving you even more options when it comes to the characters you want to have on your team. If you want to experience these 2 new characters for yourself, download 𝙏𝙖𝙡 Star Rail using the link in the description to see for yourself just how cool Blade and Kafka really are. You can also use the redemption code on the screen to redeem 50 Stellar Jade to help you along your 𝙏𝙖𝙡 journey. Downloading 𝙏𝙖𝙡 using my link really helps the channel out, so I hope you'll consider doing so, and a big thank you to 𝙏𝙖𝙡 Star Rail for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. Alright, so look, we're going to divide this video into 3 specific sections, with each of these sections dedicated to covering the exploits of one of our 3 aforementioned ignoramuses. We're going to start with Gojo, who I honestly think is the least ignorant of these 3, and we're going to work our way up to the almighty ignorant himself, Toji Fushiguro. Okay, so the thing about Gojo in this episode, or actually nah, the thing about Gojo in general is that he moves like an ignorant ass character without actually really being one, because this shit is literally all just a game to him. We already established in my last JJK video that Gojo is a certified troll since birth, and I would actually argue that his nature as a troll holds Gojo back from his true ignorance potential. You see, one of the key traits to an ignorant ass character is being overkill and taking every little slight way too seriously. You could take like Bakugo or Kid Gaara as an example of this type of behavior. Gojo, on the other hand, due to his trollish nature, is completely incapable of taking anything seriously, and so when he does do things that would normally be the sign of an ignoramus, everyone watching knows that 9 times out of 10, the is probably just trolling. By the way, when I use the word ignoramus in the context of this video, I'm not using it by its traditional definition, meaning like dumbass. I'm more so using it to mean like Genya. You feel what I'm saying? Now, Gojo actually had a few instances of ignorance in this episode that I could speak on. I could talk about how he beat the buns off a grown-ass man and then proceeded to send a selfie to his homie for no apparent reason. I could also talk about how Gojo spent 40% of the episode carrying around a living, breathing girl like she was a goddamn duffel bag. But I think if we really want to encapsulate Gojo's ignorance, we gotta talk about the way he did my boy Paper Bag, because, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Gojo was tweaking with this one. So boom, Gojo was in charge of evacuating this little girl from her school because of the fact that she's the star plasma vessel and yada 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 yada. Okay, basically, someone put 250 racks on this girl's head, and so now she got a bunch of freakazoids from the deep web trying to kill her for a come up. One of these unfortunate goons that make an attempt at her life is Paper Bag Man over here. Now, Paper Bag thinks he's gonna run up some easy bread by wiping this little girl off the map, but what he fails to realize is that this little girl's escort happens to be the god of the Jujutsu world, and so, yeah, needless to say, things don't go too well for Paper Bag. Paper Bag tries to get a couple licks in on Gojo, but, I mean, we already know how that goes, bruh. It's not happening. Gojo then proceeds to say, you know what? I got time today, before literally lecturing his op about how OP he is. Now, if I'm Paper Bag right now and this white-haired kid starts lecturing me about how his powers affect the universe on a metaphysical level, yeah, bro, you got that. It's not even worth the 250k anymore. Thank you. It's not even worth the 250k anymore. I'ma just get up out of there. And you know what? Despite his goofy ass appearance, Paper Bag actually puts on a rare display of anime intelligence and attempts to escape the situation. Unfortunately for him though, Gojo isn't done flexing yet, and so he hypersonic blitzes Paper Bag and lines up a goddamn special beam cannon up to his dome at point blank range. Now look, I don't know if Teen Gojo wasn't really like fully tapped into his powers yet or what, but for some reason the attack fails. And yeah, basically Paper Bag got spared from catching a black hole to the dome. I really don't know what to make of this scene though, because like, am I supposed to assume that Gojo was perfectly cool with letting a fucking infinity blast rip through this nigga's cranium? Because if so, I'm not gonna lie, that's just peak ignorance right there, bro. Anyway, moving right along, it's time we talk about the future felon himself, Suguru Geto. Now, I'm not gonna cap, in my last video I actually gave Teen Geto some props for being a decent person and not displaying the felonious tendencies of his adult self. Well, bruh, as of today, I'm gonna have to rescind those props right back, bro, because yeah, it turns out Geto has always been an ignoramus, even as a teen. But the reason I went as far as to rank him over Gojo on the ignoramus scale is because of the fact that Geto likes to beat down on elderly men. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I feel kinda bad for the old man who stepped in Geto's path, bruh, because that nigga Geto went zonkers on his old ass when like it really wasn't necessary to do all that to him. Old Pops over here probably thought he still had it in him like back in the day, and then all of a sudden he blinks and Geto is handing his ass a 6-piece Geto McKnuckle meal with a biscuit and honey mustard. No bev. Geto beat this in the face so hard, his nose turned orange like the Tsuchikage from Naruto. Geto beat this in the face so hard, he saw his deceased pet corgi and thought his life was flashing before his eyes, when in actuality, he was actually just experiencing hallucinations from the early onset dementia that Geto just pounded into his skull. We should have known, bruh. We should have known from his behavior in the first season in the Zero movie that Geto was a prime level ignoramus no matter what age he was. Last video I wanted to give Teen Geto the benefit of the doubt by assuming that maybe he was a good person as a kid, but nah bro, this man has always been just as much as an ignoramus as he is a throat goat. But lo and behold, it gets worse. Even the seemingly boundless ignorance of the monkey caller pales in comparison when it's put up against the almighty ignorant himself, Toji Fushiguro. The scary part about Toji is that he somehow embodies ignorance to an even greater extent than Gojo and Geto, and this is true despite the fact that we have yet to see him throw a single punch in this entire series. Like for the most part, Gojo and Geto's ignorance in this episode was bound to their physical violence against their ops. Their everyday interactions with the people on their side were still pretty sane. Kinda. At least as sane as a Gojo interaction can get, you know what I mean? But Toji was different. Toji's ignorance transcended the realm of physical violence. Toji walked in pure ignorance. Toji talked in pure ignorance. Toji existed. Okay, bro, I'm glazing now. I think I knew this man Toji was going to be up to no good when they introduced his character in episode 1. The thing that tipped me off about his felon status was his fit, particularly his shoes. You see, let me tell you something about niggas that wear slides with no socks on. These people are not okay. This is a public service announcement. If you ever, and I mean ever, find yourself in a situation where you are approached by a man wearing black slides with no socks on, you had best exit the premises immediately, unless you want to end up on the nightly news, bruh. I'm telling you this critical information because I don't want you to end up like the nigga at the ramen shop who made the mistake of walking too close to Toji Fushiguro. My nigga got body checked and laid out, And when he tried to press Toji for making him spill his ramen, Toji proceeds to hit him with a press reversal, and he shuts that man up real quick with just a single dirty look. He then proceeds to step in his ramen as he walks away, and it's like, come on, bruh. You doing the most right now, bro. Like, you're really dead wrong for that. Speaking of dead wrong, we may have a new contender for the worst father in anime history, y'all. Endeavor? Oh yeah, he's bad. Not as bad as y'all try to make him seem, but he's still a bad father. Jing Freaks? Voice crack is crazy. Jing Freaks? Horrible father. Abysmal father even. I don't even gotta say why. But Toji? This man's level of L fatherhood just has me, I don't even know, bro. I am dumbfounded. When Toji's employer asks him how his son Megumi is doing, yes, that Megumi, Toji stops to think for a second. And in complete serious, he looks this man dead in the eye and asks him, who is Megumi? Nigga, your son? Nigga, your flesh and blood? I already know this ignorant ass nigga's ability gotta be cursed milk shopping, bro, because no way this actually just happened on my screen. Like, bro, this nigga got the ability to duck responsibility by spawning himself into any grocery store milk aisle in all of Japan. I don't know, bro. Maybe he got cursed ignorance, though, because this shit is kind of crazy.